Tonight we're taking a look at Maulgreth, the Charnel Plague. It's a solo in Warmachine. Off the top of my head, I do not remember what factions he is for. But if you stay tuned after we look at the model, I will do a deep dive on the card. And we will discuss his stats and his abilities, and I will give you my thoughts. So this is the much darker gray resin with the new resin coming from Steamforged. You know, it's all subcontracted out. And there was much, here I have a handy dandy model close by. You can see the difference. So it's not always the same. And this is the much darker resin. I feel like I personally prefer the darker resin. You know, once it's painted, none of it matters, but I feel like the details and stuff just come through better in the darker resin, in my opinion. And he's got lots of details. Cool little belt. The faces on it, the masks. It's pretty rad. It's got masks on his knees, masks on his shoulders. He's a cool model. I thought for a second that his haft was warped, but it's just curved by design. Yeah, he's definitely a cool model. Stay tuned and we'll go through his card. So, Mr. Maulgreth, what are we looking at here? Cost 4 points, has 8 health. He's a mercenary. He works for House Kalis, the Necrofactorium, and the Sea Raiders. He is a 40 mil base. He has undead. He's speed 5, mat 8, defense 12, armor 18. Kind of victim stats, in my opinion. Let's see what he has. Cleave, when he destroys one or more enemy models with a basic melee attack. After it's resolved, he can make an additional one. Defensive strike, once per turn when an enemy model advances to and ends its movement or is placed in this model's melee range. This model can immediately make one basic melee attack against it. I'm a big fan of defensive strike myself. Entropic force, while within 5 inches of this model, enemy models lose tough and cannot have damage removed from them. That is a super awesome ability. Probably worth his 4 points cost. You know, situationally dependent. Hellmarked, models destroyed by attacks made by this model never generate soul tokens. So that can be good or bad. You know, good if you're facing an enemy that works off soul tokens. Bad if you're trying to work off soul tokens. In Spell Ward, he cannot be targeted by spells. He has one weapon, range 2, POW 13, Weapon Master, magical weapon, and it has Life Drinker. So when he boxes a living enemy model, he can remove D3 damage points. Oh, so not a whole lot going on here, to be honest. 4 points at face value seems a little high. His entropic force, in my opinion, is probably the most useful thing he has going on for him. A 5-inch bubble of enemy models losing tough and not being able to be healed is a pretty big deal. Being able to just have that against certain armies would be key. He's only speed 5, so he's probably going to be hanging around in the back until you have a situation where you can get him up where he needs to be for his entropic force, to be honest, is probably what I would do with him. Because defense 12, everybody's hitting defense 12. Arm 18, not going to be a problem for most things in this game at this point. I feel like, you know, defensive strike is cool. I do like that ability a lot. And it, you know, your opponent's just going to have to be careful who he chooses to base to base you with. But, you know, a 12-18, he doesn't have stealth or anything. I feel like he's just going to get shot, you know, personally. But if you can keep him hidden, bring him out as needed for that entropic force, that's probably the best use of him, in my opinion. Somebody gets a little too close with some units, and you can charge him out there, get some cleaves off, kill some dudes, and then utilize his entropic force. That's probably what my game plan would be with him. Again, I just feel like, I don't know, I wish he was 3 points. Or maybe like defense 14 or something. Or maybe just some kind of special abilities, you know, keywords up there instead of just that undead. I mean, there's a lot that he could have up there. I don't know. A PAL 13 Weapon Master isn't the worst thing in the world, but you really don't want anything swinging at him. But yeah, that's Maulgreth.